Thanks for usually they don't allow me on here. That's what it is. But yes, thanks for letting me on. Hopefully not too many of you are clicking off. I can see y'all. So if you disappear, I know who you are. Okay. And I know where you live. So no, I am. I'm real excited about this team. We've got, I love how competitive they've been in practice every day. I mean, it's been fun. And obviously, Elisa Canane coming off a great year. And now she's been picked preseason All ACC along with Jakia Brown Turner. I'm telling you, this may be the first time we've had players make the preseason teams. We haven't had it. I mean, they make the postseason teams, but as far as being picked before the year, we hadn't had a whole lot of that. So it's great that they're getting those accolades, getting that attention. I did explain to them today, though, in practice, external expectations don't help you win games. Okay. They're great. We all love them, but they don't help you win games. Internal expectations help you win games, because when the coaches and the players are doing everything they can to win games and to be successful, then those kind of expectations are good. So I think we have both, and we just got to keep it in perspective. But like I said, Elisa's playing really well right now. I think she's in the best condition of her life. She's, her hook shot has gotten unbelievable, left or right hand. Today she made a step back three, and when we were going at it a little bit, the players, love that. She's just playing really well right now. So she did give us a scare. She dropped a 25-pound weight on her foot a week or two ago, and it was a foot she had had surgery on. I made sure that our strength coaches realized that Elisa doesn't wipe down plates anymore. Somebody else can wipe down her plates for her. Okay. We don't need her handling them and dropping them. So, but Jakia Brown Turner also looking really good, worked hard. We got two seniors, Kai Crutchfield, Kayla Jones, both of them providing really good leadership. And we're obviously expecting a lot of production out of them as well. Jada Boyd was all ACC freshman a year ago, even though she played limited minutes. Great athlete, getting better all the time. So that's, I guess, the nucleus. Then grad transfer Rainer Perez from Cal Fullerton. That y'all, I don't know if I've ever heard of this. Her team finished sixth in the Big West Conference, and she was voted MVP. Okay, that doesn't happen very often. I love her maturity, love her work ethic. She's really going to help soften the loss of Ace Koenig. She's not going to replace Ace Koenig, but she's going to help soften that a little bit. So, and then, obviously we've got some freshmen that are looking good as well, but I'll let y'all maybe throw stuff at me.
Mark, go ahead.
Wes, I guess I'll put you on the spot based on what Kevin said. Can you get more specific with us about the changes to Reynolds Coliseum and how it's going to be set up?
Well, it's mainly just, if you watched any of the WNBA games or the NBA games this summer, you saw how they really have the seating spaced out. Players will be assigned a seat and they'll return to that seat, which they're going to love it because they can get away from me, So I don't know how we're going to do that yet. If we have the coaches on the front row and players on the next two rows, but they're trying to space them out 5 or 6 feet apart each chair. So it is going to be a different look. And then obviously all the seating on the floor level is going to be pushed in. So there won't be a whole lot of people down there either. So that's the main thing. We just kind of walk through how that's going to look, how that's going to work.
Aaron, go ahead.
Hey, Wes, last year we were asking a lot of questions about breaking through to, do something the program hadn't done for a long time. And you guys ultimately did that with the ACC tournament championship. I'm curious, how much does that change maybe your program, the cumulative success to now have one of those goals that you built to for a long time? You've accomplished it, how you build off of that part now?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. We're going to miss those seniors. Everybody's overlooking the fact, not only Ace, who obviously she was MVP of the ACC tournament, so tells you what kind of impact she had. But we had 3 other seniors, Erica Cassell and, of course, Kayla Ely and then Grace Hunter. All 3 of them had started at one point, came in off the bench after having some major injuries, knee injuries. But that was a big advantage, having 3 seniors coming in off the bench that had played well enough to start at one point. We're going to miss those players. So a lot of the accolades we're receiving right now, I think ESPN has a 6, AP has 8. All those, those are great, but they're based on pretty much the past. Yes, we got a lot of nice players returning, but we still have some holes to fill. And now instead of seniors coming in off the bench, you may have freshmen coming in off the bench. So that makes a difference. But, I think we're not shying away from it. We're excited about the opportunity. I did last year talk a lot about let's do something special. I hadn't really figured out what I'm going to say this year. I got to figure something out. But I love it. Every time I go to Emilio's, please, if I'm over there and I stay in the bathroom too long, it's just because I'm reading all the stuff they got on the walls in the bathroom, and I love it where Valvano said, I always told the players they're going to do something special, but, I just thought it'd mean, win a big game or something. I didn't know it was going to be a national championship. So, winning the ACC championship was unbelievable experience last year. And especially with it being in Greensboro, we had so many fans there. It was awesome. But I think now, that makes you hungry and that makes you want more. And so it's going to be a big challenge. This league is tough. And I think some teams are getting overlooked in our league that are going to be really good. And then obviously Louisville was the regular season champ. So they got a lot of people back. But yeah, you want to, we finished in the top 10 in the country the last 2 years. And we're trying to build on that and sell that as a program in recruiting, but also to our players here, sell them on the idea that, hey, we can compete at the very highest level. So that's what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Wes.
Thank you.
Mike, you're up.
Hey, Coach. Nice to see you.
You too, Mike.
I got 2 questions. One's a quick one. I saw Kai at the football game the other night in a walking boot. Can you update us on her status?
Yeah, that's just, she was wearing it the other day. I know she was wearing it in the morning when I met with some of them. And yeah, in practice, she goes as normal. So it's just pretty much to try to keep stress off of that foot. Which she's had some aches and stuff from it. So just trying to keep as much weight off of it as we can when she's not actually on the court playing.
Okay. And then just from an outsider's perspective, I think over the past year, maybe a lot of people kind of overlook the impact that Kayla Jones has. And you talked about having some seniors there in her and Kai. How important is her role, especially when you have so many younger players on your team, for both her leadership and potentially Kai's as well? They've been there for so long.
Yeah, I think Kayla Jones is a great leader for us. She has a very, very high basketball IQ. She sees things on the floor. We are trying to play her at the 3. She played the 4 the last few years. We are trying to get her on the court at the 3 some because, to be quite honest, try to get Jada Boyd on the court some. Jada Boyd, obviously super athletic. We'd like to get her out there more. And then even, we got another young lady that's pretty much a freshman because she redshirted last year, Ellie Sutphin. Ellie's from up in the Mount Airy area and just an unbelievable shooter. And so trying to get those kids in. So we're asking Kayla Jones to take on a little bit expanded role playing the 3 or the 4. She's handled that beautifully. And like I said, she's been really a voice, not only on the court, but off the court during a lot of the social injustice times that we've had and that we've talked about. She's been a great leader in that regard as well. So, and then Kai, again, someone that's played a significant role for us the last couple of years and can really be a leader for us as well. We need both of them to not only lead with a voice, but lead by example. And they're both great people. So we have high expectations for them.
Debbie, you're up.
Wes, can you go a little bit deeper with us on Raina and how you see her fitting in the rotation and what she adds? Like, what's her scouting report? We know she can score.
Debbie, she handles herself like a pro. I mean, she comes to work every day. She's focused. She takes coaching well. She's unbelievable. I mean, everybody, our academic people rave about her. You bring as many of these in as you can. It's just really, we're just really fortunate, to have a kid from Phoenix, Arizona that played at Cal Fullerton, come all the way across the country. And of course they passed, they're in the midst of passing a rule where these players are going to basically have another year of eligibility. This year won't count. And I'll be honest with you, I celebrated that pretty well because we think she really helps us at the point position. With the loss of Ace and Kayla Ely both, we were concerned about our depth at that spot. So Raina's a young lady that, like I said, has a lot of toughness, has just a great demeanor about her, but she can also score the ball and average, I think, about 19 points a game last year for Fullerton. Can shoot the three, can take you off the bounce. She is a little bit undersized, but she makes up for that with a lot of heart and the way she competes. So we're really, really, really excited about Raina.
And Wes, when you look at the schedule in the ACC, the way it came out and the unbalanced schedule that everyone's going to have to play, I mean, what's your thoughts about the games that you're going to have to play, the ones you play home and away?
Yeah, we're the two teams that we're playing our normal pod, if you want to call it, of Carolina, Duke, Virginia, and Virginia Tech. We're playing all of them twice. And then the two that we got added to bring our total up to 20 games was Boston College and Wake Forest. So obviously Wake Forest makes all the sense in the world with them being an hour and a half away. Boston College, they're a team that I think is really being overlooked. I don't know what happened in the polls. I can tell you we had them a lot higher than that when we did our vote.
I gave them a vote. I gave them a vote in the AP poll.
Yeah, because they finished fourth in the conference last year, and they essentially lost one player. They're well coached, and so we're going to have to. Unfortunately, I think this will be the third year in a row we've gone to Boston, so that's how it works out. But that's going to be a tough game up there that we've added, and Wake Forest is always a tough game. The rivalry and all that, and so we added two very challenging games to double up, but we're excited about it. I mean, our league is really good in a lot of places. I tell you, the other team's getting overlooked is Syracuse, and we finish up the regular season with them, but they got an unbelievable recruiting class, and they got a lot of talent, and Q does a good job. So. And then obviously Louisville's picked to win it. We got to go up there, play there. Last time we went up there, I think Asia Durr outscored us maybe. So I'm glad she's no longer there, but that's a big challenge. So it's going to be fun. I'm ready to get back and be able to play some games. And obviously we added South Carolina to the non-conference schedule. And, I think when we lost the Big Ten Challenge game, Big Ten decided not to play the ACC and women's basketball this year in the challenge. And we actually were going to play a couple more games against Big Ten teams. So when we lost those, I wanted to play somebody really good. And I think South Carolina checks all those boxes. Obviously ranked number one in the country. And Don Staley's done just a remarkable job of building a program down there. So it's going to be a big challenge, especially going on the road. But it'll be good for us. I think our players, the ACC is very challenging. So it'll be great to have a non-conference game where we'll get to see that type of talent on the court.
Wes, if we had the tournament and the way the brackets would have come out, it looked like South Carolina was going to be 1 and you were going to be the 2 seed. So you were going to be potentially in their bracket anyway with them. Did that have anything to do with you wanting to play them? I know it's 2 different teams, 2 different years, but they're still number 1.
Yeah, I know. I think the thing is last year they were starting 3 freshmen and we had 3 seniors coming in off the bench. So I thought if we're going to have to play a number 1, that might not be bad. At least we'll have an experience edge. Well, now those kids are sophomores and my seniors are gone. So it's not quite the same. It's going to be a big challenge, but like I said, I respect what Dawn's done. She earned her stripes at Temple and did a great job there. And then what she's done at South Carolina, put that program on the map. So it's going to be fun. I think great players want to play big games. And so I know our players will be excited about it. I'm excited about it. Obviously, we got a couple of games before that we got to focus on first, but it's a good schedule considering everything. We were supposed to go to the Bahamas, then we were supposed to go to Florida, and now we're going to South Carolina. So, hey, keeping it warm.
Corey, you're next.
Hey, Wes, I don't want to take too much away from this current team, but yesterday, obviously, National Signing Day, you signed 3 top 50 players in the country based off of, whatever productions you want to look at. But you got Isaiah James, you got Sophie Hart, and you got Jessica Timmons. What do you think of the class that you've got so far? And obviously, you still have the 1 scholarship left, but where do you think the class is right now as it stands?
Yeah, I'm really pumped about it. Isaiah James, kid from Princess Anne High School up there in the Virginia Beach area. I think maybe she's won 4 state championships at the 5A level or whatever. Left-handed, so we got Jakia Brown Turner, a lefty, and now Isaiah James, a lefty. She's a great player. Some of the recruiting services have her ranked as high as 21st in the country. She can score in bunches. I mean, she can shoot the 3 deep, and she can get to the rim and float and have some hang time about her. Again, just really exciting. She's a competitor. Plays, again, won several state championships and then played for the Boo Williams travel team program. So she's used to winning. So that's exciting. Sophie Hart, 6'4", 6'5" post player from the Minneapolis area. They were co-state champions. So at Farmington High School, her high school had success. She's 40th ranked player in the country and 4th ranked post player, true post. And that's one of the things I love about her. She wants to be a post player. Okay. Nowadays, everybody wants to be a guard. Okay. I want to step out, coach. I got Elisa Canane want me to play her at point guard. Okay. So I told her, if you ever have more assists than turnovers, I'll consider it. Okay. So she's got to work on that. But again, Sophie's a kid, works extremely hard at it, very skilled. Her dad's a track coach at the high school, so the kid knows how to run pretty well as well in transition. And she's, again, in our 4-out system, she's going to be good to have in there on the block some. She has a presence about her. And then finally, Jessica Timmons, in-state player from Charlotte, excited about getting what I consider one of the best players in the state, if not the best player. She's all-state player. She's 45th ranked in the country. But again, a young lady that a very fierce competitor, can shoot really deep threes, but can also get to the rim and finish with contact. She's strong. She's got a good body on her. And so she'll finish around the rim and get to the foul line. Again, just somebody that probably could play. We look at her more as a wing player, probably could play point some, will distribute the ball and sees the floor well, but thinking more of her as a wing player as well. So it's a great group. We address some needs, and we also got some very talented players. When you do that, you feel good about it.
Thanks, Wes.
Thank you.
Peter.
Hey, Wes, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well. Want to talk about, I think you referred to it. Are you looking for Raina to more or less take over for where Ace was, or is it going to be something that you're going to work with Kai and Raina and kind of maybe make it a competition, or, 1A, 1B type of thing? And then adding to that, how do you see the basketball IQ of this group so far this year?
Okay, good. I think, Kai obviously plays probably more 2 guard, but she definitely will play some point. And then I think Raina, we're going to try. Now, Raina played a lot of 2 guard at Cal Fullerton, but we just feel like we have probably a little bit more pressing need at point guard, so she'll probably play there more. And then I'll be honest too, we got a freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, Genesis Bryant, who shoots the heck out of it. Now, she is small. She's got to really compete to overcome that, especially at this level. But I'm telling you, when she takes a 3 or a jump shot, I pretty much assume it's going in. So I think all 3 of those people are going to see some playing time at point guard. But if I were saying, we'd probably try to play Kai more on the wing, and then Raina and Jen play the point guard more. So kind of where we'll go there. As far as the basketball IQ of this team, I think it's really good. We still got 1 or 2 people that are a little bit lost, maybe have to figure some things out. we're throwing so much at them right now. And especially for freshmen, I always feel sorry for them because you're trying to get everything in to prepare for whatever you might see during the season or especially early in the year. So you're trying to get all that stuff in. So you're not perfecting any of it. You're just getting it in. And then when you come up and you see an opponent, you think they may do this or do that, then you try to fine tune it that week when you're preparing. So I always say freshmen, it's like taking a sip of water out of a fire hose. Okay. They're getting blown away. But again, we're excited about what they can do. And I again mentioned Kayla Jones got a real high IQ. Ellie Suffen's got a high one. Kai, we got a lot of kids out there that really understand the game, and it shows.
Just a quick follow-up. Aside from injuries that come up anyways, this team's been pretty athletic the time that you've been here, trying to get that team more athletic and moving ahead. Where do you see Alyssa's development for her now going into a junior, and what she has to do to play that post position you need so bad?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Lisa, like I said, she is looking really good right now. I think she's, like I said, gotten in better condition. I read something the other day, talked about this summer. She did more stuff like kayaking and hiking and things like that. Kind of, they call it cross training, right? But she's done a lot more of that type of thing. But I'm telling you, she is moving really well, scoring great around the rim. Like I said, left hand, right hand, hooks, baby hooks, off the glass, straight in. Shooting the three well as she has been. She's taking it off the bounce some in practice and looking good. Like I said, I think she's taking it to another level. So I think she's playing really well right now. Excited about her.
Thanks, Wes.
Thank you, Pete.
Andrew, go ahead.
Wes, I have two questions for you. The first, you talked about Jakia earlier. She made, I think, the most starts ever for a freshman last year under you at NC State. What was it about her that made you able to trust her so much? And what have you seen from her in camp? And what are you expecting from her coming into this year with a year of that experience under her belt?
Yeah, I think, one thing, first of all, if you go back, if you've looked at the ACC tournament, she did not play like a freshman. That championship game, she did not play like a freshman. Okay. And I agree with you. You got to earn my trust. I got to know that you're going to be where you're supposed to be and know what to do and be focused and be on edge. And for the most part, she did that a year ago. Again, I think she too has probably gotten in a little bit better playing condition. She's going to need it though, because she's going to draw the attention now. You take Ace out of the equation and you also add what she did a year ago as a freshman. Now she's going to be the focus on a lot of people's scouting report. That's where we need Kyle Crutchfield to be a threat on the other side consistently. Like I said, Kayla Jones maybe playing the wing some, and then obviously it helps everybody when Ellie Sutphin is playing well on that block. It takes some of the attention off. But I do think Jakia, I always say Jakia is a pro. I mean, that's what her dad tells me too. And I've talked to him, hey, she's a pro, coach her like a pro. And she does. She understands the game, has been around it a lot, just a great kid. And I'd like to see her continue to work on getting to the rim. We're probably going to run more things to her side than we have in the past, but she needs to be a threat at all three levels. And I think she can do that, get to the rim, shoot the three, and then be able to pull up, knock down the J when need be. So we're really, really, really excited about Jakia and having her for a few more years.
And then same thing for Jada. She seemed to play more and more as last year went on. How did you see her grow throughout last season? And then what do you expect from her going into her sophomore year?
Yeah, and again, I don't want to judge too much, but Jakia came from an unbelievable high school program in Bishop McNamara in the DC area, and she came in ahead in a lot of ways. Whereas Jada Boyd, high school program was probably not quite as competitive. There was times I'd go see Jada Boyd play and she'd score 60 points. She was it. Well, when you're in that situation, you sometimes maybe don't have when you don't have that players around you, then you don't develop your whole game as much. And so I think Jada Boyd has unbelievable potential. She's working on stretching her range. We feel like our 4-player has to be able to be a threat at the 3-point line. so that we can keep the heat off our post or take the help out of the paint that might defend penetration. But yeah, Jada Boyd's still learning to compete every possession and every minute that she's on the court. But with her talent level, we're trying to, like I said, find her, carve her out more playing time by moving KJ on the perimeter more and getting Jada Boyd out there and letting her continue to grow. If you look at her numbers, what she did last year with limited playing time, it's pretty amazing. So that's why we want to try to find time out there for her.
All right, so we'll do our last two, Mitchell, and then we'll go to Mark.
Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, thanks for having me.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you two quick questions. First about Ellie Sutphin. She was a player who kind of joined you a year ahead of time, but after she reclassed, but at one time was one of the top 50 recruits in the country. In that year she was with you and heading into this season, what kind of gains has she made? And do you see her maybe provided some depth down in the paint for you?
Yeah, Ellie will be more of a face-up four player. So she'll be out on that three-point line a lot most of the time when she's out there. I almost can compare Ellie's situation to Jada Boyd's in that Ellie came from a small school, okay? And so the competition she saw night in, night out probably didn't prepare her as well for the ACC, especially. I mean, this is kind of a shock when anybody comes in here. Ellie, again, she's another one. I mentioned about Jen Bryant. I'm going to say it about Ellie. When she takes a three, I expect it to go in, okay? She can get that thing off so quick. If she has any window opening at all, she's going to knock it down. The biggest thing with Ellie, again, as I mentioned about Jada Boyd, she's still learning the intricacies of playing team defense, knowing when to rotate, knowing how to provide help, those sort of things. She still needs to get a little bit stronger. So on the boards, she can get moved around some, but we're seeing improvement there. We're going to have to find ways to get her on the court because offensively, she can really spread a defense out for you. So we got to get her out there. At the same time, this is what stinks about only playing 5 non-conference games, not having an exhibition, not having a scrimmage. You don't really get to ease some of these players in out there in maybe a less high pressure situation. And so that kind of stinks that you don't really get to find out where they are and help let them make a few mistakes because you're going to obviously be in a mode of trying to win ball games. So, but we're excited about Ellie. I think she's got a great future. Also, one quick thought on this. Ellie redshirted last year. Now, this year doesn't count, okay, because they're saying you get an extra year. All right. So she's not even a freshman yet, y'all. Okay. She's like, she's still in high school or something. So after this year, she's still got 4 years left. So it's pretty exciting to think about that and as she tries to develop.
Yeah. And you mentioned your non-conference schedule there. For a lot of ACC teams, it was difficult. I don't think UNC or Duke are playing any Power 5 opponents in the non-conference. You guys are going to play South Carolina, who is not only a Power 5 team, but in the top 10, like you guys are. How important is it to be tested in that non-conference slate where you don't get those exhibition games and you get to kind of find some things out?
Well, I think a lot of people, and I don't blame them for thinking like this, okay? You're going to play 20 conference games now, okay? That's plenty of Power 5 experience, okay? And so that's why they're trying to go out and get 5 games where they can bring their players along and develop them. Like I said, we were supposed to go to the Bahamas. Then we had signed up for a tournament in Florida. Actually, we went through one tournament in Florida, was on a second one. But our second tournament in Florida, we were going to play 2 Big Ten teams. We were also playing in the preseason NIT. So we had a lot of games against Power 5s that we lost. And that's why I decided, okay, let's at least try to go out. And I mean, we just pulled out of the Florida tournament a couple of weeks ago. I mean, literally, because we were just worried about it was going to take. Iowa backed out. Purdue was backing out. So we just thought, okay, we could spend all this money to go to Florida and then not even have a game. So we decided just to get a couple of home games and then find us a really good opponent to play, and South Carolina filled that mode. So I see there's a whole lot of schools that are just going to play 5 mid-majors because they feel like, hey, I got 20 conference games, that's plenty. And I see both sides of it.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mark, go ahead for the last one.
Wes, I'll apologize because you know how we local media love to pour gasoline on the local rivalry fires. But you've built your program into the women's program of record now in the Triangle. You've got 2 hungry coaches at Duke and Carolina that are hoping to get back to the levels they were before. Can all 3 Triangle teams be top 10 programs in your mind, or do you have to, in a micro sense, keep your foot on the neck to stay where you are?
Well, first of all, I'm still hungry. Second of all, I'd love to keep my foot on the neck. But yeah, I do think you can. I think you can do it. I mean, obviously we're recruiting some of the same players, but at the same time, there's a lot of great players out there. And, I'd love to, get all the great players in North Carolina, but it isn't going to happen. I mean, they're going to, you're going to have to split up some. Kids get led astray. What can I say? So they don't all come here. But yes, it can happen. And Debbie's sending me a message here that I think it was in 2000. It maybe is what it said. All 3 of them were ranked in the top 10.
Mid 2000s, all 3 of them were in the top 10.
Okay.
It was Kay, Gail, and Sylvia.
I'm not saying I want that to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure that the red team at least stays there, but the others, they can deal for themselves, but yeah, I do think you can have it. And obviously we've had it in men's basketball also, so that's one of the awesome things. ESPN named Raleigh one of the top 5 collegiate basketball markets in the country. And we definitely talk about that in recruiting. This is a hotbed, and so it's fun. And it is a great rivalry, and those games are important. But at the same time, I heard someone say this before: we don't hang banners up for when we beat those schools. You hang banners up when you win championships. So while those games are really important to our fans and to us as well, we got to be consistently good, not in and not out, and win every game. So again, it'll be interesting though. You're right. It's going to be a fun ride here. Locally for sure. It's a tough neighborhood, as they say.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Thanks, Coach. And thanks everybody for hopping on. Hope everybody's staying